Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Hall. This is episode 3, right?
It is episode 3, yes. So, anything new since last time we recorded this? Totally, it was a long time ago. And by the way, for reference, we are actually recording 2 on the same day, just because it makes it a little bit easier and there's some more content. As you can see, the last one was really long, so we had some extra things to talk about. This one will be a little bit more, I think more of a sort of like a general update video, sort of some stuff. It'll come out like 2 months after these are actually like relevant anymore, but
2 months, hopefully 1 month if we can edit it on time. But
yeah, hopefully I think we'll record this in July, release this in July as well. We'll see. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about iOS 26.
So for those of you guys who do not know, I think it was, what was that thing called, WWDC?
WWDC.
Yeah, so WWDC just happened, which is a developer conference, and Apple just unveiled their new iOS there, iOS 26. Now, at least for me, based on what I've seen from it, not much changed actually. A lot of it was just UI changes.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, I don't know what Apple won't really do anything other than UI changes, other than, like, I guess, like, some API stuff. I mean, I'm sure they did change API stuff. I didn't watch that part.
Yeah.
But first of all, they changed their numbering, right? We're no longer going iOS 17, because we're on iOS 18, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
We're changing it to just every year. So iOS 26, iOS 27, iOS 28 would be released in their respective years, like 2026, 2027, 2028.
I feel like though the UI changes is not that interesting. Like
look, I don't like it. My question is, why are we changing? What prompted it to change? Did we need this as a change?
Yeah, I don't think we needed this change. Like I'm like, okay, it happened, cool, but like, what is it meant to do for us? Like, is it meant to be like better for us? Is it meant to like change something in a way that would actually benefit us, or is it just like it feels like a meaningless update kind of?
It is a meaningless update. I mean, I feel like it's like, why are we changing something that already works?
Yeah.
Why am I having to relearn a new UI every certain amount of time? And I don't like the liquid glass look. I feel like there are certain things we cannot make everything liquid glass, but that's what they're doing. They're making everything liquid glass, from the UI, the icons. I like the colorful icons. I like I like making my screen like, I don't know, like that. Like I don't quite like the liquid glass look.
Especially like, at least Apple has at least from what I've seen from their events, Apple has the motto of trying to make it feel like a magic tablet or a magic device, or like a piece of paper that you look at and like it's a dimension to another world. So I guess on that note, liquid glass kind of accelerates that, making it like feel more magical. But like, it doesn't really, making an entire update just for changing the UI to liquid glass, that seems kind of odd or meaningless in a way.
I think it's just, it more boils down to, I don't want this change.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to learn a new UI. It's not like I didn't like the new UI, or I didn't like the new UI, or I hated the current UI. It's like I got used to the current UI. Like, for example, Discord changed their UI.
Yeah.
Do you even even like realize that the UI is different? Right? Like, yes, there will be at that point where like, oh, liquid glass is just normal. Right? Maybe in a year we'll all be like, oh, like I couldn't imagine using this old UI anymore because it's just old. Like, for example, iOS 12. That looked normal to us just 4 years ago. That looked like a change. That was a huge change. But today it looks old and sort of different than the current UI.
I feel like, different is kind of not a way to describe liquid glass though, because like Microsoft did this like how many years ago with their Windows?
It's different as in like it's a change. It's a change from the current thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, and there's a reason why Microsoft doesn't do it anymore. Now, I'm sure that some people still like that liquid glass look, but I am a person who likes maybe a little bit more rigidity. I like to see the Windows sort of as a window. Like I understand that this is Discord, this is Chrome, this is my file explorer, right? I'm not a big fan of liquid glass, which sort of blends things together. I also don't really like having a background on my computer. My background is black.
Same here.
It's just because we do tech theater, and so sometimes we have to plug in our computers. Having a black background is easier, so that's some sort of a.
It's also like it's not a distraction. Like, for example, if I have my laptop on, and like I'm doing something else, I just like it to be there, kind of doing its own thing. I don't want it to be like kind of in my way the entire time.
Yeah, see, my computer is a distraction to other people. Right? I have the anime sticker, so it's a distraction to other people, not myself. I'm okay. So, you know, that's a way I can get a little edge on people. It's just joking.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, other than iOS 26, what really has happened?
I don't think there's been not much good tech news lately.
Yeah, not even the last 4 years, man. Like
Yeah.
I think since COVID, tech news has been AI. Like I can sit here and talk about new AI developments, like we did in the last episode. We talked about Google VO3, but I mean, there's just nothing much. Like there's LLMs have sort of, you know, stabled out. Like we're making new developments like deep research, search, but that's just developing on the LLMs that we currently have, like building new functions that it can access.
And I feel like on that note as well, so many companies are delving or they're pushing so much into AI in places where we don't need it. Like Apple Intelligence, who uses that? To be frank, I feel like I don't.
The reason why we don't use Siri is because it's stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Like we use I feel like Apple Intelligence is a welcome thing. Like I feel like I would use Siri more if I could just talk to my phone and it actually understood me. Like if Siri was actually useful, then people would use it. And I think that's the direction of Apple Intelligence. And people do, I guess, see Apple Intelligence as maybe something they want to use and maybe a welcome change, right? Now here's the thing. I think personally that, you know, AI and things that it doesn't need AI is things like Duolingo. Why are we going AI first?
That was I saw that notification and that shocked me because all the work of like the voice actors, the animators,
I think it's more the language learning. So the voice actors will remain. I think they're going AI first, as in like they are using AI more. Like they're going to use AI for languages, which is not good because
there's no
people know the nuance of languages. Like like if you ask, it's like Google Translate, right? Google Translate will give you something correct. Like if you ask it something to say in Japanese, right, or Hindi, right, it's going to give you the most formal Hindi because it doesn't understand the situation.
For example, we were recording. I think it was a different video for a hackathon, and I didn't know a word, or it slipped in mind, so I went to Google Translate just to try to find the word.
What was the sentence, if you could say?
It was...
Say it in Hindi.
I don't remember exactly. It was when we were recording inside the car.
Right, yeah. I do remember.
I don't remember the exact word, but it was... I didn't know what the word was, so I went to Google Translate. And I kind of knew what the word should be in a way, but what Google Translate gave me was completely off. Like it gave me.
I mean, it wasn't completely off. It was correct. Like
correct.
Like my dad came out. He was listening to this video, or at least he was listening to you say it. And then he was like, maybe this is a different way to say it. Like this is correct, but it's very formal. Yeah. And like no one would say this. Yeah. So another way to say that, and my dad gave him another line. I believe this was after we finished recording.
No, that was before. So we changed. We did
change it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But like it gave me such a formal and like. Shub, like a pure Hindi.
Pure Hindi, but shub is what I mean. Yeah. Pure. And it was interesting because that is also sort of how AI does. Now AI is a little bit smarter. Like let's be honest, it's a bit smarter than Google Translate. It can understand the context and it can fix itself if you say, hey, like if you maybe know like generally what the language is and how it works. Like maybe you are learning Japanese or learning Hindi, and you know generally like, oh, maybe this is not the correct word. Or maybe like me, like I can only understand Hindi, so maybe I know like, oh, I'm like, this is not correct. Yeah. So I can say like, hey,
make it less formal.
Maybe make it less formal. Maybe use this word instead, and then it will generally fix the sentence. But developers don't know that. Developers
people who are learning the language, they don't know that.
Yeah, and so they will not be able to learn it correctly. And I'm not gonna say they're gonna be made fun of. It's just not gonna go as well.
Yeah. And like it makes it harder to not make it harder to learn language, but it makes it like more weird or different than how you would actually use it. And at least for me, my ideology is that if you're learning a language, application is key. Like
application is key.
When I learned Hindi, I spoke Hindi as a kid as well. But when I formally learned Hindi from a class, they made you speak it all the time, and because I had that understanding, I was actually able to, unlike my Spanish class. But because of that practicality was what made learning the language so much better. And without that practicality with like an AI, that would make it so much more different.
Yeah, but I think that AI can, I mean, in Duolingo's case, that's more of like a Duolingo problem itself. Like, you are not really having a conversation. Like, maybe you're having small conversations here and there, responding to single things. But what Duolingo teaches you, from at least what I understand, is not like conversations. It's like sentences, right? It's like how you learn Spanish in school. But that's besides the point. That is like Duolingo's problem itself, right? That's more of a different point. But Duolingo going AI first is sort of that, problem.
Yeah.
But generally in the last
couple of years.
I mean, generally in the last couple of years, it's been hard generally as in any tech, right? Games. In 2017 we had Fortnite.
Yeah.
In 2018 we had, or 2020 we had Among Us and Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Right? Things you could play remotely. What do we have today? What is that popular game? Like, everyone played Fortnite in 2017. Like, you couldn't get enough of Fortnite. Like, Fortnite was the thing.
And I feel like one reason of that could be that there's no originality in games. Like, yes, there is, or like originality in the sense that like game-changing features that are like, they're not just a small game-changing feature. For example, Strinova. The idea
it's just Valorant. It's just Valorant again.
It's just Valorant. Yeah, the idea of stringification of that. Yes, it's cool, but besides that, there's only small use cases for that. It's just Valorant, and I feel like that makes it more difficult to find good games.
All right, so the Tesla RoboTaxi. That's another thing that came out. It's somewhat tech news, and maybe at the time that we released this, it might be a little bit different. But what do we think about that?
I think that the idea. I don't know much about it, so I'll talk about the idea in general of like an automated taxi. I'm honestly a big supporter of automated mobility and driving.
Definitely.
Now this comes from like me watching some CGP Gray's videos. Have you seen that video of basically CGP Gray
I believe
has
so.
a video where he talks about like automated driving and how it could essentially eliminate traffic in a way, because the cars could communicate with each other faster than we can communicate with other drivers. I think this is kind of true, and I really like this idea of how we can improve driving and make it more accessible to other people. So I'm a big supporter of it. Now Tesla, I won't say anything about Tesla because their actions have been, or at least
the CEO's actions have been quite interesting over the past couple months with the White House. I think it's an interesting concept. I mean, we were definitely talking about AI last episode a lot, where we said about how it's going to remove jobs. Do you think that this is also going to be a sort of job remover for taxi drivers?
For taxi drivers, well, it depends, because, for example, in New York, I'll talk about public transport and taxis are so like ingrained into that city and just the life in general that changing away from that to like automated driving may take a while.
I mean, everything will take a while, but like, do you think that is a possibility where taxi drivers and people, doing that job is closer? Because I feel like when we talk about AI, taking away jobs, we forget about a lot of the people who do the work.
Yeah.
Right? There are people who are like, we were talking about how, it's going to take away maybe intellectual and creativity jobs, like, doing art and programming. And I feel like people have negative opinions about that. But when we talk about self-driving or, doing construction easier, right? People have positive opinions on that. But what about those people who do that work?
I feel like that in those lines, it may affect some jobs, but that is still far away, at least in my mind. And I feel that AI in that sector may be only as useful as a tool. I mean, with hard labor, that is sort of just a tool that you can do. Yeah.
Self-driving, I mean, I think self-driving is sort of getting that line of like, oh, that's possible just to remove their jobs entirely. But there will definitely be like a place where taxi drivers or people will sit that like will, if there is a mistake with the car, like if something goes wrong, there are people ready to drive it remotely.
And I feel that, especially with like just in general with RoboTaxis that like they're not really good. They're not really good yet, and they won't be unless a majority of cars are RoboTaxi, because the main issue with a lot of RoboTaxis that I've seen, and like especially Tesla Autopilot, is that it has to interpret the stop. It has to interpret the red and green lights with computer vision. Now that's because all infrastructure nowadays is built for humans. RoboTaxi, they have to interpret human built stuff. Now, if we say had like a network on the stoplight that would broadcast to a,
that'd be such a bad idea though, because like when you publicize maybe like a local network, like a local FM broadcast or something like that.
Something like that. If we do something like that, where the cars that are at the intersection can speak to each other or get spoken to by the stoplight with like computer language rather than with human language, then RoboTaxis and automated driving will accelerate, and AI can accelerate in that aspect. But for now, and maybe even like for the foreseeable future, unless we take a step in that direction, which I don't feel that we're doing, I don't think that RoboTaxis will take over jobs in that sector as much as it is taking over jobs with art or programming or stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. But you know, in Tesla RoboTaxi, it's still a very new thing, especially when we are recording this. I believe it just got released, like just recently. People got that test drives, and so. I mean, in other news, again, tech news is really difficult to find. I mean, we're just sort of jumping from topic to topic here. We are both kind of VR fans. We both have VR headsets. They're old. We both have VR. We have Quest 2s, right?
Yeah.
And so I recently saw online. I believe I don't think I've told you this yet, because I sort of wrote this last night without consulting you. I saw the new Xbox
VR headset.
3S.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
The VR headset. The Xbox VR headset.
It's the Quest 3S. They just basically put Xbox into it.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I don't really. It's more of a partnership than an actual product. Cause like,
it is a product. It is a product because it has it's something I don't think you can get on other devices.
Yeah,
like it's an Xbox app, or maybe you can get it on Xbox. I'm not sure.
A lot of Xbox games, at least like this is why like
it's
Xbox,
cloud gaming. It's cloud gaming.
Yeah. But what I like about like Xbox versus PlayStation is that a lot of Xbox games are not Xbox exclusive. They're on Steam.
That's true.
And because of that, you can already play a lot of Xbox games on any other VR headset, which is Steam. So in that aspect, it makes me feel that the MetaQuest 3S is more of a partnership, because it's more of a like in actuality, its use case is more of a restyle or recolor or rebrand than an actual improvement and a
there's
dedicated
no tech
Xbox.
in it. Yeah, it's no new tech. So, why don't we do a new segment? So, in episode one, we talked a little bit about anime and a little bit of manga. So I have decided, why don't we just add a bit of an anime section in here? So, this is totally not copied from Trash Taste. Technically, I had this idea before they did Anime Club. They just recently started Anime Club like 4 or 5 episodes ago, or something like that. I had this idea way before. I was planning to do it anyways during this podcast, but I didn't talk about it that much, but whatever. You are not a big anime watcher, right?
Not big, but I've watched some, yeah.
You are a more VTuber watcher, right?
Yeah.
You are. I think I've infected you with a little bit of VTubing as well.
Yep.
I am also. What type of VTuber do you watch?
I like a lot of gaming and.
So who?
Gaming. Well, depends. I see a lot of. I don't have the time to watch a lot of many streams, but a lot of clips I like to watch. Fillion. That's
Fillion the goat.
Fillion is the goat. Yes. There's one.
I know. Hey, Michael. I know you're gonna make fun of me for this. I'm calling you out.
I also watched there's one called Malicious. Yeah. I heard like entire vibe and like her games. I like that a lot as well.
What about the German one? You sent me the clips multiple times.
Which German one?
The one that does like the German stuff. Like
yeah. I've seen, like I said, I see a lot of clips about VTubers, not many streams.
I'm a bit of a stream watcher. Not VTubers per se, but I do watch like I do watch Fillion. I'm sub to Fillion tier 1. Anyways, I do watch Fillion. I do watch, but generally for streams, I usually watch Ludwig and stuff. But
Yeah.
Fillion, watch a little bit of Mochivi, and every so often Buff Pup. I like when when I'm back to school, she's always live in the morning, so I just put on her stream in the morning while I'm biking to school and just listen to something. And sometimes a little bit of Deme because she lives in Indonesia, and so she ends her streams like in the morning. So I just listen to her streams in the morning, and so yeah.
So I really want to watch some of Pirate Software streams. The issue is he starts streaming at 12 a.m.
You know what?
And he lives. The funny thing is he lives on the same time zone as us. So he like.
What is he streaming for? Like Japan?
No, because the thing is, his entire idea is stream at the time when no one else, there's no competitors, which makes sense.
But there is competitor. I mean, I guess not in the English language.
Yeah, so it makes sense, but also like then I can't watch any of his streams.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's sort of that streamer that you watch like right before bed, like maybe for like college students and stuff. But yeah,
college students. I mean, okay, before bed, that's kind of different. I mean, he starts streaming at 12, so like. How do you watch him before bed?
But I do like to watch a lot of anime content creators like C-Dog. C-Dog,
C-Dog is,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've watched a lot of... have you watched some of his... You watched his Japan content, right?
Yeah.
I think we talked about it last video
Japan
with
trip.
the Japan trip. But, in general, So, this anime club, I'm only talking about July 2025 anime. Obviously, we're doing this July 2025, so we have some interesting stuff. First of all, My Dress Up Darling Season 2. I'm a big My Dress Up Darling fan. I love romance in general, like the romance anime, so I have all of the My Dress Up Darling manga volumes except for 12. I don't think I have 12. Another 2, Friggin' Flower Blooms with Dignity. Best anime, best manga series of all time. I've already read all of it. It's not all released, obviously. Danadan Season 2. This has been a thing that people have looked forward to. Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus. Big thing. CDD Animation, which is made by the same people as Nichijou, who made Nichijou or Ordinary Life, something like that. And some bad ones as well. Rent a Girlfriend Season 4. Man, if you saw the Rent a Girlfriend ending. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, you want to guess what happened? So, I think I gave you a small synopsis before. Chizuru basically, or the main character, Kazuya, I think his name is Kazuya, he basically loses his girlfriend, Mommy. And, she basically, he's like, oh, I need a girlfriend, like, I'm so sad and depressed and degenerate. And so he goes on a Rent a Girlfriend app and rents a girlfriend, Chizuru. And so this whole story follows his degeneracy through his thing. And so he finally gets to the point where he wants to ask Chizuru out on an actual date, like not a paid one, like a an actual we're dating type of date. What do you think Chizuru says?
No.
Yes. And so the whole time basically the author was is saying that Chizuru is my wife. Right, I will put some screenshots, but basically what the author will do is he went and he would take pictures of real places and then draw like him as a POV and Chizuru being his wife, basically. And so I think he actually has wife and 2 kids with his actual wife, but his wife is like Chizuru basically.
Okay.
Well, like his wife, like he thinks of his wife as Chizuru. I'm not exactly sure if his wife, if he's like delusional and his wife is Chizuru, or like he knows he has a wife and he's just saying that Chizuru is his wife, like as in like he based his wife. Chizuru is based off of his wife, basically, something like that. And so the whole time, Kazuya is just cucking him, if I could say that. So yeah. So that's what's happening in the July month. A lot of good anime that's coming out. I'm definitely excited that all of this is coming out in July. I'll definitely be watching every day. Anime Expo is coming soon. Sadly, I am not going, which is disappointing. But apparently this year it's supposed to be the biggest anime expo. Like it is supposed to be like the biggest anime expo.
Makes sense with all these animes coming out soon. So.
Not just the anime expo, but they are expanding. They have more places that they're gonna do. They're gonna do JW Marriott and also Peacock Theater. That's cool. and the Ado concert. Obviously, there's been a lot of concerts in LA for Japanese artists. Yoasobi came with Ado actually
Yeah.
for Matsuri Fest, but the Ado concert is special. It's sold out in the first day. Sadly, thankfully I got tickets on the first day. Some people maybe you can still find tickets, but it's gonna be hard.
Mhm.
And one thing I want to talk about, maybe that's a little bit different, is anime and baseball.
Oh yeah, with Hololive and the Dodgers.
Yeah, Hololive and the Dodgers, but also Padres and Nikkei. So that game actually already happened, the Nikkei collab, where Emiru, do you know Emiru, the streamer?
Yeah, I think so.
Emiru, she's also a cosplayer. So she went to San Diego and she threw the first pitch, basically. This is a common thing across baseball. I believe a lot of celebrities and people would go. But she basically dressed up as one of the characters from Nikkei and did the first pitch. And so this was the Nikkei collab. They had like a lot of merchandise specifically for this. And it was a Padres versus Dodgers game. I don't
Nikkei
remember who
versus
won.
Hololive.
I think the Dodgers won, which was sad. Oh no, I think no. I don't remember who won that game. I'll be real. I'll write it on the screen right here. Who won that game? There's also the Hololive game, which is the same day as last year, July 5th. If I'm not wrong. Obviously, Gargura, RIP, not going to be there. It's different. I believe it's Iris, and then 2 others from Gen 1 or Gen 2. Yeah. Honestly, RIP Gura. But we're not gonna say anything. But maybe she might be coming back as a different person. But we wanted to talk about Hytale because that's another thing that's been in development for 10 years now.
It's been Hytale was announced, I believe, 10 years ago by the most popular Minecraft server. I think the most popular.
Yeah,
Hypixel. Now they have so much stuff, and Hypixel is a really good server. So they founded something called Hypixel Studios, which was a game development studio, and created something called Hytale. Now, if I remember correctly, Hytale is meant to be an RPG game that was, I believe, voxel as well, or voxel, blocky-ish, or
pixel-ish.
And there was a lot of big hopes for that, insanely big hopes for that. Hypixel has done so much for Skyblock that I believe that also added to Hytale and the Hytale hype. But recently, I believe even a couple of days ago actually, they announced they're shutting down. Now that was insane. They have been doing this for almost 10 years, and then no release about anything else, no release of their progress. They say they're no publication of any parts of the game. They just deleted it, or they're shutting it down. Which,
well, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna. Well, I don't know if they've exactly released if they're going to, what do you call it?
Open source.
Well, they're probably not gonna open source it, but they might maybe shift development onto someone else, right?
Or
maybe I don't think they're gonna release Hytale, but
they're not. So, according to the announcement they put out, and we'll put the announcement in the description and probably the source of the document as well. They're shutting down Hypixel Studios for good, and that means that, I think, if I remember correctly, I googled this. Hypixel Studios, the game development studio, had over 100 devs just there. So, last episode we talked about job security. They just lost all their jobs.
Yeah, they did lose all their jobs.
And that's just that's insane. You're such a big studio is shutting down with so much hype. There was so much bad reception for that as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad reception for that. I mean, it was I think some people, said, "Oh, what a bad CEO," or But honestly, at some point when you go through the game development process, there's some points where you're just at
this point, Hytale was in development hell. GTA 6, people are saying it's in development hell. Same with Hytale at this point. It had gone to development hell, not many updates, less motivation, and I believe from the announcement it said that looking at other games and the entire genre and game market as a whole, it made it hard to find motivation or shift their focus and deliver exactly what they wanted to, and that was their major reason for shutting down.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that, and I don't think I don't think it was anyone's fault.
Yeah,
I think it's just the game was too maybe
ambitious?
They had a little bit too ambitious, and maybe they were a little overconfident with how they were gonna make the game, and maybe how they were going to sort of finish aspects of the game. It's just
it's sad. Hytale it looked really good. Ideas for it were really good, but in the end it had to be shut down. So I guess nothing you can do, but oh well.
Anyways, that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
We have another Easter egg, by the way. We're releasing this at the end, just so we don't hint at anything.
Yeah.
But we have two figures again. They're different than last time. We have Akane from Oshinoko, and then we have Kaede from Rascal Does Not Dream of Being Bonego Senpai, whatever the whole long name. And it's up to you to decide what exactly they represent. In terms of hints, one of them is something representing of maybe the last half. It's in the last half of the thing. Maybe about some sort of new segment. I don't know. It's not the full answer. You have to get the actual answer from that. Akane, who represents another thing also from the second half, something that we talked about. And so, it's a good season. So let's.
Yep.
Anyway, see
you guys.
Next
episode will be our guest episode as well.
Yes, next episode will be our guest episode. We are still looking for a guest, so if you want to be a guest, contact me or
just
Aryan.
contact Study Hall Instagram account,
contact the Study Hall Instagram account.
The email, which will probably be in the description.
Yeah, which will be in the description. Yes.
Yeah.
And you must know you IRL. So if we don't know you IRL, no, you cannot be a guest on our episode.
Yeah.
You have to be one of our friends IRL. I know this might be a little bit discriminatory, but we obviously, for our safety and our security, we are just going to do that.
Yeah. Later on, we might do international, but that's
I think we might do that, but
Yeah.
we'll look for that more of a remote opportunity than actually an IRL opportunity there.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways, thank you for watching, and that was the Study Hall.
You should bring your best friends right now. Meet me on the West End, uptown.